and welcome into Lynchburg, Virginia. Today, your Liberty Flames taking on the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. I'm Rhett McGibbon, joined by Bennett Brown. We'll have Adam Fornwald here in just a few moments. Second game of the year for your Liberty D2 Flames. They had a solid contest in their first one against Virginia Tech. Bennett, what are you expecting to see out of this group today?
Well, they handled the ACC opponent in Virginia Tech pretty good last week. We'll look for them to come out hot against Wake Forest. They scored fairly often last game, 4 goals. This game, we'll see if they can match that.
Time to take a look here at our Foster Fuels Who's Hot players to watch. And who are we looking at for Wake Forest, Bennett?
Well, we have Scott McKean, number 28. He has 4 goals on the season and 2 assists, so he's got 6 points there. He scored a point in every single one of the matches this year. Even though Wake Forest hasn't really fortuned out with the win section, he has been on the scoreboard often and early.
Let's take a look here at our Liberty Flames.
That's right. We have Rob Board here. He has 2
goals there and an assist, and yeah, he's been solid. A veteran player for this team, and played a little D1 in his time, has settled in with the D2 team, and he's a guy that definitely can put the puck in the back of the net for the Flames. Just a great veteran leader, has eyes in the back of his head. It's just tremendous passing ability, and we're going to step aside here for the singing of our national anthem.
Well, gentlemen, this is certainly going to be an interesting one. Wake Forest coming into this on their 5th game of the season. Started the season a little bit earlier than the Flames, but the Flames came out hot in their first game, winning it 4-1 against Virginia Tech. Interesting start to the head coaching career of Ben Hughes, Rhett, and I think you'd have to say he'd be pretty pleased with the way things started, but he's definitely looking for a stronger performance in game number 2.
Yeah, you know, you just want to see the guys making sure they're getting their systems down, they're in the correct places. They are internally motivating themselves to get better each and every day, and that's something that's hard to do. You're going up against a Wake Forest team that played Liberty's D3 team last year and lost in that game. So this game, on paper at least, should be a very winnable game for Liberty. So a lot of it's going to have to do with just making sure guys are staying disciplined, up to the task, and really focusing on making themselves better throughout the system.
For the Demon Deacons, Sovoletti, Brown, Potts, Robertson, Mueller, and Colangelo. For the Flames, they'll start with Wilson, Perry, Heisey, Sidden, Backer, and Epp between the pipes. Friday night hockey in the LIC. It is packed in here, Seafall weekend, and the high schoolers have come out in full force.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest crowd D2 is going to see all year.
Puck dumped into the corner, the Wake Forest defense. Heisey takes a man down. He has some help with Perry as well. Finds the stick of Sidden. That's a shot just wide. Rebounded. Wilson will scoop it up. Flicks back to Backer. He'll take a shot. That's wide right. Up now at the center ice. Heisey will send it back along. Interesting you see this lineup starting first, Brett. I don't necessarily think that this was the best line that Liberty had to start with, but I like the choice. Give these guys a little bit of motivation, a little bit of pep in your step, see what they can do.
I'm a big fan of Perry right now. This guy has opened my eyes to the speed he has. I'm in his corner. This guy can wheel. In last game against Virginia Tech, I thought he created offense every time he was on the ice, so he's dangerous. I think he's a real hidden weapon, you could say, for the Flames this year.
Yeah, certainly on the first line tonight, as you know, as the Liberty placed him, but he's not necessarily one of the prominent names on this roster. You look at a guy like Lamoureux or Rob Ward, Andy Clark. Those names are the names that you're familiar with, Brilliant Crane as well. Matthew Perry's the guy that'll sneak up on you if you don't watch him. You can't take a shift off for any of these Flames lines or they'll burn you.
Yeah, I really think we need to look out for the Ontario boys on the board tonight with Andy Clark and Rob Ward.
Yeah. Puck one in the corner by the Flames, trying to dump it out in front. Unsuccessfully was Rob Ward. Puck sent high in the air, then batted down by the Demon Deacons. Wake Forest in the black with the gold trim. Liberty with the white sweaters with the red and blue trim. Puck goes into the corner, and icing will be the call.
Solid start here for the Flames, doing a good job of getting the puck in deep for the most part. One thing they could do, I think in a game like this, you just need to shoot. Don't worry about trying to pick your spots. Just get that puck on net, and things will be okay for you.
We will definitely have some of our keys to the game coming up in this first period. Wake Forest, an up and down season so far. So they come into this 1-2-1. Martin on it, he shoots, that's high and up into the netting. We'll get a face-off. Take a look at Wake Forest's schedule here. Lost to Richmond to start the season 4-3. And traveled to Elon, that's where they tied 3 each. Then they returned home to the Sportsplex where they knocked off Duke 7-2. And then lost to North Carolina State 6-3 on their home ice. So
yeah, NC State's a solid team in the ACC.
No doubt about that. Let's take a look now at our keys to the game. We'll start first with the Demon Deacons, Bennett.
Yeah, so Demon Deacons need to start fast. They need to get to the net really right away and start shooting the puck right towards the net and get some bodies in front of it. And then they also need secondary scoring. Some of the guys, like we mentioned, Scott McKean, you know, there's 3 or 4 guys on their team that have scored 4 or 5 points. They need some of the other guys to step up and get some of the points as well. So we also have Liberty.
And as for the Flames, Brett, you kind of mentioned this. You want to see them, you know, just attack right away. Be above the mess, be above the chaos that might ensue. Feel like you're the better team, play like you're the better team, and I think they'll be just fine. And then building chemistry, obviously, second game under the new head coaching regime. A lot of new players on this team, some returning faces, but you're looking for these lines to gel.
Yeah, you know, you got some freshmen in the lineup, some guys that moved down from D1, some guys that remained here last year, but overall, this is a very different looking team than the one that made it to the national championship game last year.
That's right. They have 12 returners this year on their team at Liberty. They have 6 that were D1, so that's an advantage they have there. And then 5 freshmen. So maybe we'll get to see some of the freshmen stand out tonight on Seafall night.
There's one there. Flanders dumps it over to Nieder. Nieder with a nice move, but he has it stolen away. Good work there by the Wake Forest defense as that puck is scooped up eventually by the man between the pipes.
And there's a player right there. You don't, like, Nieder is a skilled forward that definitely has slippery hands. He can make moves, but in a situation like that, you're trying to get your first goal on the board. Would you rather him protect the puck, try to show some muscle, and drive it wide and perhaps wait for some help to come?
Change with the face-off here. Flanders will go in.
And this is a line. This is essentially the 4th line for the Flames. They can put some points on the board.
Oh, yeah.
Flanders can wheel. Wiesner's that old wily veteran, and Nieder is a passing guru. So this is a line that, as the season goes on, it's just going to get better and better.
Look at the work there from Flanders, passing over the blocker. Excuse me, the backer, and it goes off the blocker. That's pushed away wide. Wiesner unable to get his stick on it. Wake Forest will choose to clear out the center ice. Wake Forest will get a chance to reset as Nieder was called off.
That's a nice play by Nieder. He realized his 2 wingers were going off for a change, so just applied a little bit of pressure so Wake Forest wouldn't have a clean entry.
Pass stolen away by Wake Forest. It was James Carras on that, but he's unable to hold on to it. Looks in all the way around now to the far side. Pushing forward are the Flames. Out in front, oh, he had a trailer right there. It was Matthew Perry.
Hooking's going to be the call on that play. Flames are headed to the power play.
Wilson had a full head of steam on that one. Flames are going to go on the 5-on-4 man advantage.
And honestly, that's what you want to do all night long. You know you have the speed advantage. Just keep wheeling wide, making their defense have to turn quickly and hold on to you with their sticks. And if you do that, they're going to be water skiing on you all night. You're going to be head to the power play all day long.
Face off one by the Flames. Ward backhands it over to Crilly. There's a shot from the point.
Off the post.
The crossbar. And in the back of the net. Oh, no goal. They're going to wave it off.
He kicked it, yeah, and it looked like he did. Andy Clark in front, I believe, got his foot on that puck, so the face-off will come out to the left of the goaltender.
The puck was just sitting there, right there in front of the line.
Take another look here at the replay.
Corey Colangelo, little help from his friends, and then you can see it right there, the kick, it goes off the toe. Andy was trying to get it with his stick before it crossed the goal line, but unable to.
Good work there from the Flames line. The killer sees Clark, Crilly, and Crane. Ward out there now. The shot, he's playing alongside Crane tonight.
That was a big save there by Colangelo, whipping out the right pad quickly.
Carras with it now over to his right, now his left, backhand. A nice save there by Jared Epp.
I'm sure Ben Hughes not happy with that play. You don't want to allow a shorthanded opportunity like that. If you play against an elite team in D2, that's going in the back of the net.
Ward dumps it back along to Crane, but he's unable to get a stick on it.
Yeah, Andy Clark throwing his weight around there at the tail end of the play, just absolutely bearing Andrew Adams into the corner.
Crilly looking for Rob Ward, unable to find him. Flames forced to reset. Penalty kill looking sharp so far for Wake Forest. It's a nice pass down to Crane. King fighting for it. He's unable to pick it up, and Crilly will reset. Crane dumping it back along to Roy. Roy over the sit-in. Now Flanders. Options on either side. He'll take it in himself.
Right now you're seeing Liberty get sucked into, hey, we're just going to skate it across the blue line every time instead of dump that puck in, send two forwards on it, regain possession, set up the power play. It's a simple concept, but all too often you see plays like that. It's a little bit too pretty, and it's turnovers all day in the neutral zone right now.
Andrew Adams breaking up the pass there. Flames with 9 seconds left to go on the power play. Marshall King. Sit into his left. Niederer as well. King will take it himself. Shoots. Niederer looked like he saved it himself. And Wake Forest will go back now to even strength.
So let's count it right there. That's 3 times in a row that one person's brought the puck all the way up the ice without passing.
Carras able to get a stick on him. He's looking for Kaloof. Can't hold on to it.
Flames are almost caught with too many men on the ice.
Puck tipped by Perry. Wilson able to keep it in. Heisey will go chasing. Perry with help to his left. Glick, D pass. Backhanded from Heisey, that'll be sent into the boards. Wilson goes chasing. Heisey will go as well. Pucks in all the way back around, unable to keep it in the zone was Glick. Perry plays it off his skate, but loses it. Fighting for it was Curtis Golden. Now puck's sent out to center ice. Coming along the boards is Mueller. Neither team really able to hold on to possession early in this one. Flames controlled a little bit on the power play, but Wake Forest did a nice job with the disruption.
Yeah, give Wake Forest credit. If you asked me before this game, 8 minutes in, would Liberty have scored a goal? I would have been like, yes, they would have. But right now, Wake Forest doing an excellent job of clogging up the neutral zone. And it looks like they've got a little bit more talent and skating ability on their team from last year. So the longer this game goes on and the longer it stays 0-0, and I know Bennett's been in these situations, you know, the weaker team starts to believe that they can get it done.
Well, you saw during the penalty kill that Liberty wasn't even able to make too many efforts there at the goal. So Wake Forest is doing a good job at killing the penalty right there.
Face-off taken by the Flames. Clark sending to the boards, dumping it back along to the near side. Fighting for it, poking it out is Marshall King. Martin now to Crane. Crane tiptoes along the blue line, brings it over to his right, shot that's deflected, goes back to where he started. Martin tried to send it back over the Crane, couldn't. Dumped back in by King, sent down to the ice was Crilly. Fans wanted the call on that one.
And the net looks like it's almost off the moorings right now, too.
Martin dumped over the Crane. He's posted along the boards. Tries to skate through, but can't. Wake Forest just trying to get it out of their own zone. The Flames are harassing the Demon Deacons in the last couple of minutes. Clark has it. Options out in front. He'll take it himself. Unable to get the shot off. Good defensive work from Wake Forest.
And they know what's coming, Wake Forest, and they're going to have a hard time winning this game with the defensive shell they're setting up because offensively they haven't done much.
And with that, let's send things down to Whitney.
Thanks so much, guys. Y'all have mentioned already both teams' seasons so far. Liberty's coming in, second game of the season with a win already under their belt. Wake Forest is also coming in, but with 5 games of experience. And one notable thing about this game is that this is actually Wake Forest's first time to play a Liberty D2 team. They played D3 last year and lost, so it'll be interesting to see how tonight's matchup goes. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Whitney. Backer fighting forward at center ice, eventually kicks it to himself. He'll take it in himself as well. Lamoureux out in front. So it'll be slung back to King. King throws it out in front of net, but met by a Wake Forest stick.
I like that thinking right there is just get pucks on net. Throw everything towards the goal.
Pass out in front, shot, King puts it in the back of the net. Marshall King finds the netting. It's 1-0 Flames. Talk about a wily veteran, Rhett. There's one right there, Marshall King. Joined the program last year, and I think he's going to find his pace here at D2.
I think he'll do really well in D2. Honestly, as the season wore on last year, and it's nothing against Marshall King, it was more of a numbers game. I thought maybe he would have been better served to have played last year at the Division II level, get a ton of ice time, and then move up to D1 later on.
Wiesner sandwiched between 2 defenders.
Nice little shot there by Niederer as well. And you got to give credit to Corey Colangelo right now, the goaltender between the pipes for Wake Forest. He's made some bell ringer saves thus far, and he's going to have to be sharp all night long. He's going to see more rubber than most goaltenders if Wake Forest wants to stay in this game and have an opportunity.
Colangelo, the consistent starter for this team, has played in 2 of their 4 games, 1-0 record, 37 saves so far. Coming it back along to Richardson. He'll take the shot. That's deflected just wide. Sitting in front of net was Wiesner. Glick, he shoots, goes off the skate. Flanders goes chasing. Eventually able to get it out as Niederer. Shot from the point. That's patted away by Colangelo. Wiesner unable to hold on to it, and Wake Forest will look to clear.
Yeah, Niederer's kind of stood out so far to me. He's been pretty active in trying to get those assists in there and passing the puck around.
Puck will be sent all the way back around, and icing will be the call.
You notice the last like 3 shifts here, 3 or 4 shifts, Liberty's gotten back to that hard hat, blue collar mentality of just getting the puck deep and grinding it out.
Yeah, they're just throwing the puck right there in front of the net, trying to get those one-timers, slapping it right in there.
Hey, good things happen when you put it in front of the net, no doubt about that. Face-off scooped up by Crilly, but sent along the boards to Crane. Wake Forest trying to bring it out of their own zone. Long pass down to Andy Clark. Dumps it back to Crilly. Crilly passing it out in front to Crane. Crane has his stick pinched, and here come the Demon Deacons. Up with it is McKean. He's taken down, and there'll be a penalty coming against...
Offside the call
offside.
there, yeah.
Excuse me.
That was a beauty hit. Nice job by Martin just lining up his man and wheeling with his head down there on the far side with Scott McKean, and he thought he was going to beat him. Sure enough, he didn't. He just got the hip right into him and laid him out. And a head coach of Wake Forest right now angry that there was no call, but honestly, that was just a clean hit.
Yeah, he might just be mad. One reason, because Scott McKean is one of their players, top players, scorers. You got to keep him safe out there.
Scott McKean, mentioned him in the opening. 4 goals, 2 assists on the season. Wilson chases the puck, gets a stick on it. Martin with it now. Passing it back to Perry. Now Martin out in front, left at the doorstep, oh, just wide. Matthew Perry gave it all he had on that one. My goodness, if he would have had that in front of the net, he might have tore a hole through it.
Yeah, Perry there just weighing down on that stick, and that was a yawning Gage. He's going to be thinking about that one here in the intermission, saying, how did I not make that score 2-0?
Yeah, I think the radar gun on that one was about 98.
We'll see.
Kilometers,
That's right. Sit in with the shot from the point, that's patted away by Colangelo.
Solid goal keep here for Wake Forest. He's doing a nice job between the pipes for them thus far.
Sidden sends it all the way back around, trying to get it out of the zone. Unable to do so, scooping it up are the Demon Deacons. Options out in front. Nice work there by Jared Epp. With it is Backer. Options to his left. He'll take it in himself. Oh, splits the defender. Passed out in front, but nobody was there. And Wake Forest will look to clear, but can't. Matthew Perry over to Sidden. He's taken for a ride along the boards. Carter sends it back over to Golden. A big hit, Golden loses his stick, and Flames will reset. Backer, D2D pass over to Ward.
We'll see if they set up something here for Ward.
Yeah, Backer had his head down there and absolutely got caught right in the face.
Colangelo falls on it. We'll have an upcoming face-off. 7:17 left to go in the first period. Marshall King with the lone goal of the evening. Blake Muller there, he has 2 assists on the season. And it looks like he's gonna go to the box.
I think they're calling him for elbowing on the hit to Backer, but honestly, that's not the correct call. That was all shoulder right in the face, and Backer literally just had his head down. So there's nothing really much here that Blake Mueller could do on that play. Blake Mueller, a guy that puts points on the board for Wake Forest, 2 assists so far this season.
Ward. Back over to Crilly with the shot. Sits out in front of the net. Wake Forest able to clear. Epp comes all the way out of his cage. Dumps it over to Rob Ward. Clark unable to hold on to it. And it's sent all the way back down. Wake Forest with that 1-1-2.
Yeah, they know what they have to do, and you know what? They've had some opportunities. They're just trying to create turnovers.
Oh, Rob Ward. Had Andy Clark there, just couldn't finish. Crilly back over to Ward. Now back to Crane. Crane with a shot that's off the skate. Chasing forward is Andrew Adams. Adams just applying the pressure, allowing his team to get some fresh legs out on the ice. It's Clark. Options to his right. Crane behind him. Clark swings it out in front himself. Passing it back over to Crilly. Rob Ward. Down to Crane. Crane taking his time circling, back to Ward. Ward down to Crilly. Out in front, shot, pad save, rebound, 2-0. Andy Clark.
And that's where Andy Clark is going to make his living. Just posted up in the crease, battling with the opposition's defenseman and just bearing a rebound. Take a look at it here. He's got his big body out in front. Rebound comes, just bangs it home. That's his wheelhouse.
Yeah, I noticed the last 2 plays, Andy Clark was hanging out there right in front of the goalie, trying to screen him a little bit, maybe get that rebound, and there he did. He just buried it right in the back of the net.
I think the shot from Crane also threw Colangelo off as well. And then The kick save just sat right out in front of net for Clark. Wiesner, options to his right, passing it out in front, had Niederer and Flanders there. Now here comes Wake Forest, 3-on-2 if they hurry. Misplaying it is McKean, passing it out in front, but finds the skate of Niederer. Dumping it back to Glick. Was Drumheller. Now over to Flanders. Flanders can't hold on to it. It's batted down by Drumheller. Flanders, nice pass there. Niederer just couldn't get a stick on it. Looking for that give and go.
Oh, Wiesner there goes into the boards awkwardly. I think he was expecting to knock Robertson right off his feet, but Robertson a little stronger on his skates than I believe Wiesner anticipated.
Harass with it, he loses it. Sent all the way back around. Wake Forest able to keep it in the Flames' defensive zone. Robertson was fighting for it in the corner. Oh, dangerous pass out in front. Flames able to scoop it up. Clearing it is Backer. He finds a skate of Perry, but he can't hold on to it. Potts brings it into the zone. Backhanded shot. Epp able to scoop it up, and we'll have a face-off.
It hasn't seemed like Epp has had to face too many hard shots tonight so far by Wake Forest.
Well, and if you're the Flames, I think that's what you want. You look at the work that Blake Scott had to do last weekend, 35 saves. That's probably a little bit more than you'd like to see him face. You get down below the 30s, that's right about where you want your goalie.
Now, Rhett, you were a goalie yourself. What is the philosophy behind switching out your goalies after having a win with another?
Oh, I'm sure he just wants to give Epp a try. Epp was the guy that took them all the way to the national championship game last year, right? And Blake Scott was the goaltender that did it the year before. So it's just, you know, you got two guys that are horses that can take you the distance, and it's their first two games of the year. And basically right now, it's a competition. Show the coaching staff who deserves to be #1 and who deserves to get playing time when it comes crunch time. And that's all that's going on right now. So I like what Ben Hughes is doing, because a lot of coaches probably coming into their first year in the league, having Blake Scott would have been like, oh, this is a guy that played D1 last year, took us to a national championship game. He is the #1 for sure, but I think Ben's doing a great job here of internal competition and keeping these guys hungry, and in so doing that, you're gonna have better goaltending throughout the year.
And like we said, this is only Ben Hughes' second game as a head coach, so to show that maturity early on, show some sign that this could be a successful team as the years go on.
Rob Ward dances through the Wake Forest defense. What this man does on the ice is just flat out impressive. Liberty leads 3-0. Let's take another look here at the replay. Rob Ward, what you didn't see there was the fancy skate work of Mr. Ward. He's already got 2 goals on the season, make it #3. Brett, I love his goal scoring ability, but also he's a facilitator. He's just a creative player.
He's an elite offensive mind at the D2 level, and even at the Division I level, he was an elite offensive mind. He just a fantastic ability to make a pass. He sees guys before they reach open ice, so he places it there and they catch up to it, but he does have a top-end shot.
There's a nice shot there from the Demon Deacons.
Yeah, Andrew Adams there with a nice little wrister.
Tipping it through are the Flames. Wilson sent him to the boards. Perry and Heisey will go chasing. Adams, long pass down to McKean. Glick will circle through. Now over to Richardson. Wilson, long pass. Skating through the zone, dumping it back is Heisey. Flames with the line change. Wake Forest looking to clear, can't. Clark bats it down, but he's unable to hold on to it. Kept in by Sidden. Crilly trying to get a shot on. Sidden trying to get the puck as well. Sidden with options. He tried to flick it over to Crane, but he's unable to hold on to it.
That's a nice little play coming by the way of Sidden. He was trying to make the defenseman bite one way or another by dropping it off along the boards, and hopefully the defenseman would have gone with him and left the forward for the Flames wide open.
Batting it down in the ice with Gilbert. Opportunity here for the Flames, 3-on-2. Pass down for no. Clark was there. It was Jamie Crane trailing. He's unable to finish the deal. Crane, he was looking for a pass out in front. Over to Backer. Backer with the shot. Doesn't get a whole lot on it. Breaks his stick.
Yeah, blew up that twig on that one.
Liberty's looking a little more aggressive these last 2 minutes.
Minute 32 left. They're looking to see if they can get one more on the board before the end of the period. All the way back around the Jackson Roy. He can't hold on to it. That'll make Martin grab it. Eventually sent over to Roy. Almost a sloppy pass there. Crilly will send, he's unable to send it back along. Flames not getting good contact this last couple of minutes either. The shot from Roy, that's sent away. Flanders with a shot, that's looked like it went off the stick of Colangelo. We're gonna face off.
It's gonna be interesting to watch Flanders throughout this game. He's a goal scorer. This guy wants to bury, and he wants to bury right now. So as the game gets going on, he knows he has a great chance to score in this game, and you're gonna see him get hungrier and hungrier throughout the rest of this matchup.
Corey Colangelo was the goalie in net for last year's matchup with the Flames. We'll get a stoppage of play. And looks like we're having a redo on that face-off. 10-3 last season, 2 shutouts, 2.57 goals against average for Corey Colangelo, now in his second season with Wake Forest.
He's a good goalie. I remember him last year, and in all honesty, that was a closer game. It was 5-3, I believe, was the score, but the Division III goaltender Ruel Galang had to make some pretty high-end stops to even that one out. So Liberty did come away with a victory, but they did rely on their goaltender a fair bit at the D3 level.
Liberty got out to an early start in that one, led 2-0 after the first period, 4-1 after 2, but Wake Forest brought it back close. Within 1 goal, Liberty able to clinch it though late on in the third period to make it 5-3. So like you said, Red, a very close matchup, particularly in the third period. Puck sits out in front, trying to find it, and Flanders does. There he goes. The young man with his first goal in his Liberty Flames career.
Good to see that for him. He's been working hard, and he's a guy that can score in multiple ways. He's got a nice wrister, a nice snapper. He likes to come in and drop on the opposition, but this time he just goes to the front of the net, and he doesn't stop. He's taking up room, he's making traffic, he's hacking away, he's fighting off 4 demons.
Yeah.
And he's able to find the twine.
4-0 is the score. 40 seconds left to go in the first period. Flames putting things together late in the first. And Wake Forest will go back to the drawing board with 2 periods left to go. Backer receiving some pressure, but he's able to get it off. Sit-in. Dumping it back over to Ward. Ward tiptoeing back to Sit-in. There's a backhanded shot. Able to find the net. Now it's pinched in the corner. 10 seconds left. Passed out in front by Lamoureux, but he's unable to connect, and the Flames will skate it out. Liberty matching their goal total from last weekend's game against West Virginia in just 1 period. Bennett, what have you been impressed with so far by the Flames?
Well, I'm really impressed by Andy Clark. He's been hanging out in front of the goal. He was able to get that goal earlier on. And I think some players like Flanders and Nieder are going to be even more involved in the next few periods.
Right, I guess you give more ice time to the young guys in the next couple of periods.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're allowing them to work hard and get a feel for it and also get some offensive opportunities. I have to say this, though, about Wake Forest. They know coming into this game that they are playing up against a top-tier team, so good on them for coming in and experiencing this and seeing how far they need to go in order to be a top team themselves. And with that, let's send things down to Whitney, who's with the head coach of the Demon Deacons.
So much, guys. Now, Coach, you told me a little bit before the game that what happens tonight will be a good measuring stick for your team. Coming out of the first period, how do you feel like your guys are doing?
We got to really adjust to the speed. The speed is the biggest factor right now. I think the ice was slanted significantly. I think we only had maybe 2 good scoring chances. I thought our goalie played really well. I think I mentioned it before the game that he's an excellent goalie. The score could easily be 8-0, to be honest with you. In terms of the number of quality chances they had, we did not adjust to the speed of the game, and we got a lot of work to do to get back in the game.
Now, Liberty has kind of dominated on the offense, scored 4 goals really early on. Other than speed, are there any other adjustments you're going to make coming into the second period to be able to hang in this game?
Just keeping the game simple. Really, in our own zone, if we don't have a perfect pass, chip one off the glass, get it out. And offensively, if we don't have anything really in terms of a scoring opportunity, get the puck in deep, try to go in and forecheck, see how the defensemen handle the puck in their own zone. We don't really know yet because we haven't really put much pressure on them yet. That's probably the best recipe to get back in the game at this point.
Thanks so much, Coach. Guys, back to you.
Good to hear from the coach of the Demon Deacons. We will be right back with second period action. The Flames, they lead 4-0 in this one. Keep it locked here. It's the Liberty Flames Sports Network. In the Hill City of Lynchburg, Virginia. Your Flames lead the Wake Forest Demon Deacons 4-0. Adam Fornwalt, Bennett Brown, Rhett McGibbon. Guys, Flames started off a little bit slow, but towards the end of the first period, Bennett, they really picked it up.
Yeah, as Coach Pascal mentioned before the half when Whitney was interviewing him, Liberty is just coming out and being really fast, being in front of the net, as you see there with Clark. Liberty just needs to continue to be aggressive, throw the puck out in front of the net, and keep doing what they're doing like that.
Wake Forest had a couple of opportunities on some odd man rushes, Rhett, and even on a shorthanded opportunity, just a little bit off, and I think they're going to have to find more of those opportunities if they want to get back into this one.
Yeah, I think the coaching staff had the idea that you come into this game, you clog up the neutral zone, create turnovers, and then you have a quick counter-strike offense. Now, down 4-0, that's going to be hard to do, and the Flames aren't going to make that many mistakes. So you're going to have to open it up a little bit more, but when you do that, that goes right into the Flames' favor as well, because they have guys that can wheel and put the puck in the back of the net. So really, you know, if you're being 100% honest, this is a superior Flames team to the Demon Deacons right now, but this is a great learning experience for Wake Forest. You see how you need to get better. You have to play the top-end teams to get there, and it creates a hunger in your group to know, like, all right, we've got a ways to go. We might be a real solid team in the ACCHL, but in order for us to be one of the league's best, we've got to improve, and they get a taste of that kind of hockey right now.
Well, I think you had a similar mindset, Rhett, when you decided to play them last year. You wanted to play a team that, you know, would keep you guys competitive, play a good team, a solid team that would make things interesting for your season and challenge your guys. And that's kind of what Wake Forest is doing here with this Liberty team.
And with Wake Forest as well, they had 3 solid opportunities last period, and so they'll look to have more opportunities this period to try to get, you know, 3 or 4 solid shots again on goal.
There's an opportunity there for the Demon Deacons. Now it finds Wake Forest stick. Backer able to get his stick out in front, and that puck goes all the way down to the far side. Taken down is Heisey, no call. Line change coming for the Flames. Bringing it up the ice is Mueller. He chooses to dump the puck down, and Epp able to scoop it up. We'll have a face-off.
This is a hard game for Epper because he's making stops like that. There's nothing really going on. He's probably singing his favorite song in his head, trying to keep himself alert, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's a turnover, and they have a chance right on your doorstep. So this is a game in which he can work on his mental focus.
What do you think about dumping it into the goalie like that? Is that a solid strategy for Wake Forest to try to get the puck there?
Well, at least you get an offensive face-off in the zone. You have an opportunity to win it and get a shot off. It's not a bad strategy, and maybe you can get a lucky bounce on goal and get one by Epp if he does have a lack in focus for a moment.
Martin hits the bar.
I thought he was going to take that one. I saw the angles just a little bit off when he let it go, as the goaltender was to his left just a tidge, and I found the post.
Flames found the bar twice tonight. First one led to a called off goal from Andy Clark, and the second one there. Good stick work by the Demon Deacons. That was Eric Kaloof. Epp kicks that away. Perez unable to find it. Now it's King. King is surrounded by black sweaters. He takes it over to his left. Now back to his right. He's hit hard. Passed out in front. Ward was there as well.
And a penalty coming now to Wake Forest as they hammered Robert Ward right in the numbers. So the Flames will be going to their third power play of the night.
6 men on the ice for the Flames as Epp heads to the bench. King crosses out in front, patted away by Colangelo. Rebound. Wake Forest able to get on it, and we'll get a stoppage for the penalty.
Wake Forest does seem to be a little frustrated now with that opportunity and the penalty that they just had.
We're going to call it roughing, but Robert Ward did take a pretty nice hit right in the upper back. And you can see the Scott McKean going off. He's not too pleased with the call, and Kenny Malik, the linesman, actually is the one chatting him up and telling him he's going to have to calm down here. Perhaps he's going to get a 10-minute major to boot.
Well, McKean does lead the team in scoring, but he also leads the team in penalty minutes. This is 8th on the season. 4 penalties for him thus far.
We mentioned Rob Ward in the beginning of the game as well. Rob Ward with the nice stick work there, going to net, drawing the penalty.
I think he's frustrated. He's scored
sure
a point in every game thus far, and then kind of be shut down by this Flames team. Not really able to get anything going on offense.
Now, here's a pet peeve of mine. You should never, ever, ever wear 99. I don't care what league you're in. That's just hockey sin. And it bugs me, honestly. If I was a coach, and I think Coach Pascal does a fantastic job here in Wake Forest. I was just saying, if I was over these guys, I'd be like, buddy, don't even come to me with that question. No, you're not wearing 99.
Just be retired in all of hockey, all around the world.
It is.
Yeah.
That guy just decided to break history and the rules, and I wouldn't be surprised if Wayne's knocking on his door tomorrow. But no, it's just you can't wear 99.
Now, what about wearing a white helmet when everyone else is wearing a black helmet?
That's unfortunate. We'll just put it that way. I've had situations actually when coaching. In this league, anything can happen. I had one time where we went on a road trip, and one of my better players, he just goes, "Coach." I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I forgot my skates." And I'm like, "How on earth?"
Lamoureux tucks it home, 5-0. You blink, and the Flames score.
It looks like the floodgates are completely open for the Flames.
Take a look here. Lamoureux just comes in and does a nice job, takes it wide, settles the puck down, and honestly, that one, he just caught the goaltender deep in his crease, and Lamoureux has the ability to do that because he's got so much speed. He can come in on goal so quickly, it pushes the defense back, and it also gets the goaltender on his heels, and that's exactly what happened to Colangelo right there. Is he was pushed back deep in his crease, and honestly, there's tons of net there for Lamoureux to shoot at, and he was able to find a hole.
And like Wake Forest said, they got to catch up with Liberty's speed, and they weren't able to do it right there.
And honestly, that's just not going to happen today.
Nope.
You're going to get accustomed to it, you're going to get used to it, but you're not going to be able to play the same speed game Liberty's playing currently.
And we're going to get a penalty against the Demon Deacons. Or excuse me, that's going to go against the Flames.
Might have been cross-checking
My
to the back right
apologies.
there.
Yeah, Ryan Sidden going off to the wrong bench, actually. He's been home here for 5 years. What's he doing going to the wrong box? So Wake Forest an opportunity on the power play to get a goal up on the board. Let's take a look here. It kind of happened behind the play just a tidge. And that's a shot right to the back and away from the puck. You could call that interference, roughing, what have you. But, talking about the white helmet again, it happens. And, you feel bad for the guy because if he forgot his black bucket, he feels like a clown. And it happens, but I'm sure he'll never do it again.
Well, at least he's not wearing 99, right?
That is true.
What other hockey sins do you have out here?
Oh, like 66. Can't wear that. That's Mario's number. You can't wear hockey greatness. And it's one of those things. Number 9 is one you can wear, even though that's Gordie Howe. But, would the league ever retire that one? It's such a commonly used number that it's tough to do. But 66 and 99 for sure. Even 87 right now with Sidney Crosby. You look like a little bit of a...
As a Flyers fan, that makes my skin cringe. But no, look, there's nothing what else are you going to say about Sid the Kid? I mean, he's just been dominant.
In 97, you know, McDavid has that now. When you're starting to wear the numbers of the big boys,
Yeah.
it looks a little funny.
You better be pretty good.
It's like wearing number 23 in basketball.
There's a shot patted away by Epp.
I'll tell you a hockey sin right now that's going on in the NHL is the Vegas Golden Knights at home, or no, on the road, they have white gloves.
Oh.
It looks so bad.
Yeah. Karras knocked down. That puck will be sent all the way back around. 35 seconds left to go on the power play.
Yeah, Flames might have gotten away with one there. He
Yeah.
actually stepped on a Liberty stick, and I don't know if you call that tripping or not, but nonetheless, still 5-on-4 for another 20 seconds.
Let's see if Wake Forest can muster up something right here.
Flames fighting for it behind their own net, unable to clear it. Perry went chasing as well. 5 seconds left on the power play. Flames looking for one. Excuse me, the Demon Deacons looking for one last shot. And that's tipped away. It was Demonkos. Sit-in, passing it out in the corner. All goes off the skate of Demonkos.
He almost got an assist from number 99 right there.
Yeah, that happens when you're wearing Gretzky's number.
Roy keeps it in, dumps it back to Wilson. Back to Roy. Roy with the shot. Nice save there. Oh, rebound opportunity. Colangelo couldn't get a hold of it. Eventually, he will do so, and we'll have a face-off.
Yeah, nice effort there by Perry digging that puck out.
And with that, let's send things down to Whitney.
Thanks, guys. Michael Niederer and Blake Flanders. These are two freshmen that have caught a lot of people's attention. Give you a little bit of background information about these guys. Michael was born and raised in Minnesota. Blake is from Buffalo, New York. And this is kind of where their love for ice hockey began. They grew up playing the sport, fell in love with it, and now they get to play at Liberty University. When we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about the keys to their success and how they've been able to step into leadership positions despite being new to the program. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Whitney. I'm very interested to hear more about these two young players. Up the ice comes Wake Forest. Nice pass out in front. I think Flames got away with another one there. Richardson swinging his stick in front, and Wake Forest took a tumble. Oh, passed out in front, and probably should have had a better look at that.
Yeah, what I was talking about, you know, Epper can go to sleep for a little while, and then he wakes up, and there's two on 0
Yeah.
down deep in the zone.
Crane sends a man to the boards. King fighting for it as well with Crilly.
Things are getting a little bit chippy now.
Crane gets back up, still has the puck. He's trying to kick it out of the corner. And now he'll just sit on it.
Yeah, see, there's a... Oh. And Ben Hughes, he's got every right to be upset. Goes at him with two hands to the face. And if I was Crane, I'd be throwing a bomb right back at him as well. That's a gutsy little play there by Curtis Golden. And I'll be honest, that you can argue that's a headshot because you got two hands right to his face and you take two strides to complete the hit.
Yeah, Curtis Golden just came in there a little bit late, right to the back of the head.
So Wake Forest is going to end up on the power play after that. And head coach Ben Hughes is not happy whatsoever. He wants an explanation.
Danny Logan's losing his mind on the bench as well, and rightfully so. The whole Flames coaching staff should not be happy. And this is the first time Ben Hughes has an opportunity to speak to the official. The first time I've seen him get a little bit riled up on the bench. It'll be interesting to see because you come from Kirk Candy, who wears his heart on his sleeve, right? He's doing some door slams and whatnot. Ben, he seems like a bit more of a calmer guy, but you never know when you get out behind the bench. Tempers start to go a little bit. Well, here's the thing that would make me mad, is that if Ben wants to talk to the ref, he doesn't come over. Like, it's not like he's chatting his ear off all night. Right. At least communicate to him what's going on.
Well, it looks like Jackson Roy's the one who's got the explanation of what happened there, and Hughes will have to find out through him. But I don't know if that's just because they're not familiar with Ben Hughes, or obviously he played the D1 level, but he's just not getting the little bit of respect there. Like you said, two guys on the opposite ends of the spectrum. You have Kirk Candy's very, very emotional on the bench, and gets heated at times and just, like I said, wears his emotions on his sleeve. And you have a guy like Ben Hughes, just kind of polar opposite, kind of leads by example with his play on the ice. So I'm interested to see how he transitions to the bench now that he doesn't have that ability to get out there.
Hey, I have some good news for Louisville fans. Their D2 team just beat Wright State 7-1. That's probably not going to happen in basketball this year, but
yeah, they need some good news.
At least in ACHA hockey, they're
honestly okay. For them at this point, no news is good news.
That is true.
Mueller sends the puck back down to Damankos. King tried to take you 1-on-3, but couldn't. Wake Forest slowly taking the puck up the ice. That'll be a long shot, and it finds the net of Epp, and we'll get a face-off. 11:52 left to go in this one. 47 seconds left on the power play. There's Mr. Epp.
Nice new bucket, paint design by Epp. I like it. It's simple, clean looking, kind of Roberto Luongo-ish, if you will. It's a solid looking mask.
Face-off won by the Flames. They'll send it all the way back down, and Wake Forest will have to reset.
You know, another good point brought up by Whitney in the fact that Flames are starting to get some guys from Minnesota into the system, and that was something you didn't see much of up until last year when Brock Thompson came to Liberty. And
wow, has he performed?
Yeah, he's been solid, you know, on that first line, a guy that can move up and down the lineup. And I was recruiting a kid for D3 that's defense from Minnesota, and I believe, you know, we got Niederer this year from Minnesota, so starting to trickle down, and if you can get some guys from the old hockey state, you're in good shape.
Yeah, definitely the heavy focus has been on, you know, Canada in that area, but Minnesota another good one, and Buffalo as well. Anytime you get up north, you're looking pretty good.
Well, and your own Game On show, you've recruited a Minnesotan.
There you go.
Yeah, it's not my show, but yeah, we did. You know, that might have been a bit of a misread in the scouting report, but no, I'm totally kidding. No, it's we're glad to have Bobby on the show.
She knows her hockey pretty well.
Yeah, she worked for Fox and was part of the Minnesota St. Cloud broadcast as a sideline reporter.
Crane trying to take it into the neutral zone, but he loses it. Wilson will look to reset. He's got Glick there as well, but it'll eventually fall to Crane. Crane pokes it through, and he's sent into the boards. Crane still fighting for it at center ice, along with Glick. Eventually it's scooped up by Wilson. And we'll get a stoppage of play. Offside will be the call.
Yeah, Ben Gilbert looks to be getting kind of aggressive in the boards with some of the players. That last play, we saw him hit 2 guys right into the boards.
Red, if you noticed, I'm working on my offside just for you.
You know what? Don't even worry. I had to actually do that last year, and I realized I said offsides.
Yeah.
And so it took me a summer to kind of get that under control.
I remember you and I had a conversation about it. Technically, neither one is wrong. I believe offside, though, is the proper term.
Offside is the Canadian way. Offsides is American. But in soccer, it's offsides.
Oh, out in front there was Flanders. Wiesner sends it back along to Niederer. Niederer fighting for it. Sidden taking his time. He trips and falls, and Sassini's right there. Niederer sends it all the way back around. He was looking for Wiesner. Scooped up by Niederer. He can't get through the defense. Puck trickles to him anyway, and we'll get a stoppage of play. Line change for both teams here. Face-off coming at center ice. 9:22 left to go in the second period. Flames lead 5-0. 4 goals in the first period. Scored by Marshall King, Andy Clark, Rob Ward. And in the second, it was... I lost the name, excuse me. It was Jamie Crane. And of course, I can't forget about Blake Flanders' first goal in the red, white, and blue as well. So 5 different goal scorers for the Flames. Wake Forest still looking for the first. An opportunity for the Demon Deacons here. Flames was too quick. They meet them there. There's Tyler Potts with opportunity. Spinning pass there from Lamoureux. King Dumps it back to Lamoureux. He's pinned against the boards, catches an elbow as well. Lamoureux able to hold on to it, passed out in front. He was looking for King. Unable to hold on to his Martin, and the Flames will reset.
There was some great passing there, that sequence.
I like Martin a lot. He's a guy right there, even on that play, kind of didn't go noticed perhaps by the casual fan, but he's behind the play, and he realized Lamoureux took a stick up high and got roughed up a little bit, so he's going to come in and say, get off my guy. I'm gonna take care of things here, and he kind of gave a shot back himself.
Wake Forest player slow to get up. That was Eric Kaloof. Now here come the Flames. Crane, shot, kicked away. Good work there from Colangelo.
Yeah, the old half leg, drag it behind you and hope that you cover the far side.
Crane lays the lumber. Wake Forest able to come away with it. With the puck is Carras. He can't do more than clear it out. Andy Clark dumps it over to Crilly. Crilly with a fake shot. Passing it out in front. He was looking for Clark. Richardson can't get a stick on. That puck will go all the way back down. No icing. Richardson sent to the boards for his mistake.
Stick work's getting a little out of control right now when it comes to Wake Forest. They're tired, and when you get tired, you start hacking away.
Clark out in front. Good work there by Colangelo.
Big pad save.
Sitting with the pass. That's deflected wide. Heisey sitting at the doorstep. Sit in. Tried to cut through, couldn't. Crilly keeps it in the zone.
Smart play there by Crilly to get it deep.
Flames able to make the line change. Sit in will stop it at center ice, but it's tipped away by Wake Forest. Puck trickles through to Solvoletti. Solvoletti regains possession, can't get a shot on net. Flames send it high in the air, and it looks like it went off the ceiling, and we'll get a stoppage of play for a face-off. 6:26 left to go in the second period. Adam Cornwall, Bennett Brown, Brett McGibbon.
For those of you perhaps wondering, the Division I team on the road tonight up in Rutgers, currently leading 1-0. Sam Carlson with the goal.
Tell you what, you want to talk about a freshman with some promise, Sam Carlson.
He's a man. Like that guy is
big boy.
He is big.
Yes, I talked about that last weekend during the midnight game. Really, you had Grant Garvin, that was your size last year. This year, you got a number of freshmen coming in there, just giants.
Carlson, all big fellas.
Heisey will go chasing. It's Gilbert who finds the puck. Perry eventually gets it away, but Wake Forest will recover and send it down the center ice.
Kaloof is back in the game after getting that big hit earlier.
Chasing for the puck is Kaloof. Backer holding on to it. Heisey. Cross ice pass down to Wilson. Wilson, little wrister pass down the backer. He flicks it high up in the air. Difficult save there for Colangelo, but he comes up with it.
That was a nice little catch right there.
Corey Colangelo, solid performance thus far here in the second period, is giving up the lone goal. Niederer will go at it for the Flames against James Carras on the face-off. Face-off won by the Flames, it's taken by Martin. Martin, oh, good work there from Flanders. Passes out in front, he was looking for Wiesner, just couldn't get a stick on it. Flanders sent down, Roy tries to clear it, but coincidentally, Flanders sends it back through into the neutral zone.
Flanders one of those guys that give him a year here at D2, and it wouldn't surprise me next season, even though the D1 team's deep, that he could crack that lineup as perhaps as a grinder. You know, they have so much offensive talent up front that it'd be hard to crack it in a top 6 role, but he's got a good motor on him. He keeps his feet going, he back checks hard, he tries to keep the puck in the offensive zone, and if he can put a little muscle on his body, he could definitely be a guy that I think in the future you'd see up with a big club.
And the Flames will lose a couple of guys at the end of this season. I believe this is Colt Steele's final year.
Yeah, Steele, Garvin. You know, there's a one top 6 hole that you're gonna need to fill with Grant Garvin, but obviously Flames are going to bring in recruits again, and then you have internal growth. So, like I said, it's going to be hard to find a top 6 spot with D1 here in the future.
Certainly a 3rd or 4th line spot, though, at that next level could be the place for Flanders, but I'm sure head coach Ben Hughes is loving to have him here at the D2 level. And he's slowly but surely making a name for himself.
I'll be honest, I look at this D2 team and I really wonder if this year's group is better suited to win a national championship than last year's team. And the reason I say that is I like their defense. I like the makeup of this team a lot. I like your Andy Clarks, your Kings, and I know this is a game that's hard to get a complete read on how they're going to play because they can kind of dangle a little bit more and be offensively creative, but when it comes to just grinding it out, I think this is a team that can be really tough to play against in a tournament.
Lamoureux was looking for Ward, couldn't find him. Wake Forest choosing to clear out the center ice. Yeah, Red, I'd have to agree with you. I think top to bottom, this team, with the youth coming in, I think is really the biggest difference. There was a lot of veterans on that team last year, and the youth was kind of more in the back end. I think with now a couple of younger guys at the forward spots and a little bit of a more experienced defense is really going to help Liberty a lot.
Yeah, like, you know, you had great defense last year. Like, don't get me wrong. You had Matowski, along with him. You had Huntington, and you had a long list of guys that were just solid. But there's something about this team I like, and I don't know exactly. I can't put my finger on it exactly, but I think they have the making to do something special if they can just grow together throughout the year.
Well, you said, you know, they have a few grinders on their team that are willing to put the puck right there, make a nice shot.
Crilly whiffs on the slap shot. Wake Forest comes up with it, and they choose to dump and chase. And icing will be the call.
And you guys are saying that this team might even be better than last year's team. And last year's team, they had a 97 win percentage. So.
Yeah, very good team. Only lost, I believe, 1 game last year and tied another.
Yeah, and, you know, I'll say this right now. This team, you know, I'm going to probably make some people mad, but I think they'll lose more than 1 game throughout the year.
Yeah.
Because that's part of the maturation process, the learning process. But there's just something when you have a group of guys that are physical and nasty, and you also have the scoring touch, it just does well, especially when you get to that pool play style that's at the Division II level. And, you know, I could see this group making some noise. And the one area, I don't know if I'd say it's a weakness, but I think has the most room for improvement would be defensively.
Yeah.
And, you know, you've got Glick and Richardson that didn't play a ton of minutes last year. They're playing in they're playing more minutes this season. Roy is going to have to really get a ton of workload. Martin's a freshman, so there's tons of room for improvement there. That's just you're going to see this group get better and better. And Sidden's going to have to really lead the way and just be a strong leader and a voice on the back end when things perhaps get a little hairy.
Speaking of Sidden here, he is moving over to his left. Pass over to Crilly with a shot. That's patted away. Clark sends it back along the boards over to Crane. Crane holding onto it, looked to sling it out in front, couldn't do so. Well, we talked about the guys moving down from D1 to D2. If I remember correctly, none of them were on defense. They had 5 forwards and a goalie.
Correct.
So, you know, you did gain a lot of great players, solid players from the D1 level. Shot taken there just off the padding. Niederer with a good opportunity. Taken down to the back. Oh, Wake Forest opportunity there. There was Cicchini.
And Niederer has been denied twice so far tonight on getting his first as a Flame.
Almost looked like tripping there.
Working his butt off, though. Wiesner trying to skate through. Eventually that finds Flanders. He takes a shot that goes between the pads, and we're going to stop it to play.
I really like this line.
Yeah.
Like, I really like them. I think they play with speed, creativity. They're willing to dig it out in the corners. Like, if you're a coach at the D2 level and you've got a so-called 4th line like this, you are just kneeling down before you go to bed at night and thanking God. Like, it is just such a huge thing to have.
Yeah, no, this is a solid line. No doubt about that. Like you said, I like the combination of the youth mixed in with Wiesner, who's just, a wily veteran and agitator, I guess you could say, really going to get in the head of the other team and allowing the focus to be on him, and letting guys like Nieder and Flanders, who might be a little more technically sound, to get open opportunities.
I gotta be honest, that line plays a little bit smarter hockey too than perhaps some of the rest. I've seen times tonight where guys are shooting into shin pads and it's bouncing out, or they're carrying it up the wall and they run out of real estate and they try to make a difficult play instead of cycling it back deep in the zone and trying to win a 50-50 puck. It's not even really a 50-50 puck when you cycle it into the corner. It's really 70-30 in your favor because you know it's coming and the guy's not sitting there right beside you. But they seem to just have a good head about them, and they do a nice job of playing it safe and creating scoring chances.
Yeah, and they kind of seem to set it up there in the neutral zone before they make their attack. So, I mean, if you have that formula going throughout the season, it's a good way because you want to control the puck and start getting those passes right in there.
I'd really like to see those guys on the power play. Give them a little bit more space, give them a little bit more room to work, see what happens. Be interested to see what comes out of that.
Yeah, you know what? I don't blame you there. I don't know if it's going to happen.
Yeah,
That's quite the responsibility to get to.
There's plenty of mouths to feed on this team. I think I'd have to agree with you there, but I would love to see maybe late in the game those guys given an opportunity to see what they can do. But when you've got guys like Paul Lamoureux and King and Ward, Clark, I mean, you've got a lot of guys that can score goals on some odd man rushes and some 5-on-4s.
I think if you're Wake Forest, you have to chalk this period up as a success. You only allowed 1 goal.
Holding on to his Carras. Pass it out in front, went off the skate of Sidden. Rebounded, shot just wide. Good opportunity here for Wake Forest. And we're gonna get a power play for them as well. And that will carry over into the 3rd period.
Right now, Jamie Crane, Crilly, just trying to bait Wake Forest into perhaps throwing a punch and evening up the penalty call.
That is going to go against Jamie Crane. His 2nd penalty of the evening. This is kind of what I was talking about, or Bennett was talking about in the keys. Just kind of staying above the mess, above the frenzy. Yeah. You got to come out and just realize you're on a different level and, get out of these little ruts. And they kind of got caught up in that in the 3rd period with Virginia Tech. Wasn't necessarily a big fan of the way they played that 3rd period compared to the first 2. You give up the goal there late and you have Scott lose a shutout. Crane's actually going to come out here.
Yeah, I was wondering the way they were talking just beforehand, and Craner is going to get a 5-minute major in a game.
It looked like he came in with a knee almost in that last play.
We'll get a update here shortly, and Coach Ben Hughes looks very confused.
And the crowd's getting into it too here at LaHaye.
We'll have to wait and see.
Ben Hughes there pointing. He's like, I want to talk to the big guy. Kenny Malik is a veteran. I like Kenny. I actually used to play against him in a men's league back in the day. He's a quality guy, real fun guy, keeps it light, but he does an excellent job of communicating with you. And right here, Ben, yeah, I was about to say, I would have lost my cool if the ref didn't want to chat to you about it, but yeah, he's going to talk things over now, get an explanation from the official.
So with Crane's loss, you have to see a guy play some double time. Perhaps one of the freshmen. Let's take another look here at the play. Ben Hughes still not happy with the call. There's Backer in the corner and lays the hit.
Yeah, they're going to say that's a headshot, blindsided headshot.
In the NFL, they call that targeting, which they've a lot of controversy over, but that's a tough call to make. But there it's pretty obvious. Even with the refs, without the replay, they could pretty much see that one coming from a mile away.
Yeah, I want to take another look at this, to be honest. I want to see it perhaps a little slower. And let's see here, does he catch head or does he catch shoulder? And that's the big difference here. His time's going to expire in this game, but here he comes in nice and slow, and he catches, he gets all head. And I hate to say it, and I feel bad for Jamie in this sense, but I think he was going for shoulder,
yeah,
but he caught him blindsided hit, and that is perfectly goes along with the rule, and that's a 5-minute major.
So Flames lead 5-0, but are now without Jamie Crane for the rest of this one. See if Wake Forest can take advantage of that, as they will be on a 5-minute major power play. Unsuccessful in the power play so far are the Demon Deacons, as Ben Hughes is looking for an explanation.
And you don't see the head coach come out to the ice typically and chat with the ref after a period. This is, I think, just the captain and Ben Hughes, only a summer removed from the game, coming back onto the ice, wanting to chat things over and just, you know, have his skates on right now. But I think for him, I think when he sees the replay, he will agree that, you know, that is a shot to the head. Now, you know, it's up to the ref's discretion, but typically you just don't want to see that in the game.
Right.
I mean, like I said, I don't think Jamie was trying to do that intentionally to injure the young man, but nonetheless it did happen, and I unfortunately think the right call was made in that case.
Well, I don't necessarily think he made himself a friend of the official earlier in the game either, and that probably played into it a little bit as well, but the targeting, the headshot certainly didn't help his case either. With that, we'll send things down to Whitney Robertson, who's with head coach Ben Hughes.
So much, guys. Now, Coach, you guys have dominated offensively in both of the games that you have played this season. What is it that's making y'all so successful?
I mean, the guys are working hard. I think everyone on the bench, whether we're up 5-0 or it's 0-0, you know, the bench is filled with a lot of life and energy. So I think just a testament to them just having the desire right now.
Now, there's been some tough calls tonight. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, on that last one, I guess the call was that our player came in and the shoulder hit the guy's head, so just automatic head contact. So I was just arguing just earlier, you know, the head contact that we saw on our guys. So he didn't see that, and that's okay. So we just had to move forward.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Whitney. I think that's a valid point, the fact that you remember over here just to the right of the door, coming in with a full head of steam, 2 hands up, a shot right to the face of Jamie Crane earlier.
Yeah, it was Crane, like you said, who got the hit as well, and Crane was sent to the box for that play. So a little bit of frustration from Jamie Crane. He's gone from this game, but the Flames are certainly not gone. They're still in this. We're going to stick around as well. 20 minutes left to go. Flames lead 5-0. We'll be back. Liberty Flames Sports Network. Minutes left to go in this one. The Liberty Flames lead the Wake Forest Demon Deacons 5-0. Adam Cornwall alongside Bennett Brown and Rhett McGibbon. This one's been an interesting one through 2 periods of play. Liberty came out strong midway through the first period, really established themselves, and then really haven't done a whole lot since. Scoring that 1 goal in the second period, and are now without Jamie Crane, who was sent off the ice late in the second period. And you have 5-on-4 man advantage for the Demon Deacons, and Bennett, you'd like to see them capitalize and get back into this one.
Yeah, I think Wake Forest had a decent second period there. They were being a little more aggressive, getting the puck towards the net, but, you know, Liberty's kind of been keeping them mostly in check this game. But then again, Wake Forest only allowed 1 goal last period. So that's an improvement, something that the coach can talk about when they had this break. And we'll see if they can hold Liberty off this period and prevent them from getting a goal.
So it'll be Roy, Ward, Martin, and Sam Heisey out for the Flames on the penalty kill. Potts, Adams, Solvaletti are the forwards for the Demon Deacons. And then back in defense, Damankos and Mueller.
So they have the 5-minute major right now.
Yes.
What type of plays or schemes do you think that Wake Forest is going to try to do to maybe get on the board here?
I think you got to really just control possession. I mean, they Flames penalty kill earlier, just really disrupting them, not letting them to get set in the zone.
If I was Wake Forest, I would just put 2 guys in front of the goal. 1 guy right on top of the crease, 1 guy a little bit higher screen, and just lob bombs in and let your guys hack and whack away and try to get a rebound goal.
Face-off won by Wake Forest.
This is a nice opportunity, and I know Ben Hughes probably like, you never want a guy to get a 5-minute major, but this is an opportunity to practice your penalty kill in a situation where you know you have the game at hand so far, and you can just do a great job of getting pucks in, clearing it out. You can perhaps even give guys like Flanders and Niederer a look on the PK to see if perhaps some of your freshmen can contribute in that area as the season moves on, and you give them some reps right now. So that's just a solid, you look on the bright side of things, right?
Yeah.
For the next 4 minutes and 21 seconds, let's just give our PK a really good practice here and perfect some things, and it also gives Ben Hughes some video to look at in the not so distant future and correct some issues if there are some.
And it also gives Jarrett Epp the opportunity to have some saves.
Sit-in takes a shot. Tipped along by King. Clark will go chasing, but Wake Forest will hold on to it. Reset coming for the Demon Deacons. It'll be taken by Mueller. Tips it along over to Dominguez. Sends it down to Potts. Potts loses it, sends it back along the boards. Over to Dominguez. Potts holds on to it. Shot goes off the body of Backer. Trying to clear it as King, and Epp with a glove save.
Nice job tracking that puck down by Epp. He was already down on his knees in the butterfly position, and that puck went through some bodies, and he was able to snare it out of the air with the old trapper.
Yeah, I really like that save there. He had some good vision, being able to keep his eye on the puck there.
Face-off won by the Flames. Drumheller sends it around the boards. Glick chases for it. Eventually it's grabbed by the Demon Deacons. Robertson dumps it over to McKean. McKean still looking to keep that point streak alive. McKean sends it out in front, rebounded, and just couldn't hold on to it. Was Golden. Back over to McKean. Wrister, that goes high and into the netting, and we'll have a face-off.
Interesting penalty kill here by the Flames. The last two shifts in a row, you've seen a defenseman switch with the forward and come cover the point. And I don't know if that's by design or if it's just coincidence that it's happened 2 times in a row, but something to watch out for here, that there has been a switch in coverage.
Holding on to it is McKean. Dumped over to Robertson. Robertson with a shot that's sticked away. Roy looking to clear and gets through.
Now, do you guys see any advantage with Liberty doing that, switching the forward with the defenseman there, coming up top?
I'm not a big fan of it just because you put a forward in a situation they're not typically comfortable with, and that's battling in front of the net and tying up a stick. They're typically used to just active sticks and covering passing lanes. So we'll see. Like I said, I don't know if it's by design. I think it's just happened twice. It didn't happen there on that last shift.
Adams will reset for Wake Forest. Moves over to his right and sends it over to the far side to Brown. Brown sends the puck all the way back down. Backer will scoop it up. Heisey trying to push through. He'll risk that all the way back down, and that'll leave 2 minutes left on the power play for the Demon Deacons. McCray Robertson sending it over to Andrew Adams. He fakes to his left and goes right. Now back to his left. Looking for a cross-ice pass was Wake Forest. They'll be forced to reset once again.
That's 4 times in a row. Liberty has just cleared the puck pretty quickly once Wake Forest has tried to get into the offensive zone.
Clark getting a little rambunctious. There's an opportunity here for Wake Forest. A big hit from Marshall King. As Epp stops it at his net. Sit-in looking to clear. He avoids the hit. Flicks it on into the neutral zone and back into Wake Forest territory.
You know, Rhett, like you were saying earlier, Ben Hughes may not be too happy about having that 5-minute major, but it is giving Liberty the practice that they need for the penalty kill. And I think so far Liberty has seemed to do pretty well on this.
Yeah, it's good repetition for them. Things are going to get harder as you play top 10 teams in the South region. But as of right now, this is a good look for them.
What teams do you think that Liberty's going to have to look out for in the South region this year?
Florida Gulf Coast, always a top team in the South that's very difficult to play against. Miami of Ohio, Penn State. You know, the list goes on and on. Virginia Tech is hoping to crack the top 10 again. So all those teams I just mentioned and more, Rowan in there, Delaware. You have Ohio, the Bobcats as well, all teams that are going to be, you know, in their mind, they're going to think this. They're going to be like, all right, Liberty lost a bunch of guys. Florida Gulf Coast has had a pretty strong run for a while. This is our time now to be one of the top 2 teams in the South region. And Liberty's thinking, hey, we retooled on the fly. We're not going anywhere. So you're going to have some good battles throughout the year.
Well, interesting enough, right, we mentioned them earlier in the broadcast. Liberty actually takes a trip to Kentucky. They take on Louisville next up.
Do they now?
Next weekend, yeah. Actually, excuse me, they have a break this upcoming weekend. It is fall break here on campus next week. And then the following weekend, October 13th and 14th, they travel to take on Louisville.
Anybody want to come watch some D3 hockey? We're at home. Fall break.
There you go.
Nice job there by Heisey. You're up 5-0, and you get your body in front of that shot from the point and to redirect it out. Nice work by him.
As of 7 minutes ago, 15 minutes remaining in the second period, the Flames still lead Rutgers 1-0. The lone goal still from Sam Carlson.
So watch here, Lamoureux's coming out of the box, 1 second left. Let's see if they try to wheel it up to him. Yeah, that's what Martin was thinking. He was going to try to wire it up the boards, but he didn't connect.
Instead, he finds Wilson, 2-on-2 opportunity now, 3-on-2 with Clark with a full head of steam, but errant pass and finds the stick of Martin. Sends it over to Clark. Clark looking for the wrister, but it goes off the skate of Brown. Potts sends it over to the far side. It's tipped away by Clark.
Let's see if they try to set up a screen with Clark again. They had good success with that earlier in the game.
So right now as the lines change a little bit because Jamie Crane is obviously out of this hockey game. Jeff Wilson getting some time with Crilly and Clark right now.
You know, I really like how Clark has played this game. He's been staying in front of the net, blocking the view of the goalie.
He's been given an opportunity to be a lot more physical at this level, really to use that size. Here's Crilly, tried to split the defenders, comes up a bit short.
I just want to see Crilly fire pucks. Don't try to walk your way through every time. Use that shot you have and just get pucks on net top of the circles through traffic. I think that'll open up a lot more space for you to use your skill in close, but right now guys know that you're just going to try to walk in on goal, and they're sticking with you.
Big hit in the corner. And now Wake Forest out on the break with an opportunity, but they have it tipped away, and Sidden will come up with it.
Sidden, the Red Seas just parted for him.
Sidden, backhand, tried to go back over to his forehand, but couldn't do so. Puck trapped in the corner. Flames walk it out, backer, wrister, deflected, sits out in front. Wake Forest able to get in front of it, and we'll get a stoppage of play, and it's going to be a penalty against Wake Forest. I believe Blake Mueller is guilty.
Yeah, he just put a high hit up on Flanders. Came over and tapped him in the shin, saying, sorry, I did catch you up high, but he'll be going off the ice for 2 minutes or less.
Flames with 2 power play goals on the evening already. They'll look for number 3.
Okay, so you were talking about earlier, this line's going to get a little PP look. Flanders is going to join in here with Ward, Lamoureux, Crilly. Flanders is going to take the spot of Crane.
Lamoureux and Clark were talking before that play. Maybe they're coming with some plan here.
Puck saved by Crilly. Flicked over to Clark. Now back to Crilly. Holding on to it is Ward. That's a dangerous spot to leave Rob Ward. Clark tried to flick it over to Lamoureux. And unable to save it is Crilly. You do not want Ward on that left side pocket. He will make you pay. Tries to slip between 2 defensemen, but loses the puck. Ward scoops it up, flicks it over to Crilly. Gets tangled up with Lamoureux, but able to come out with it is Paul Lamoureux. Ward taking his time.
Liberty's kind of dissecting Wake Forest at this point.
Crilly with a wrister, sent out in front. Wake Forest able to come up with it, and they'll send it all the way back down.
That was a nice job by Wake Forest, especially right in front of the goal. That was Robertson boxing out the Flames forwards, and that happened twice. And it was a good shot through traffic, but then the defenders there boxed out the forwards, didn't allow them a second crack at the rebound, and they were able to clear.
Ward over the Lamoureux. Back to Ward. Ward facilitating, back over to Crilly. Stick goes flying in the air. Ward back down in front. Niederer out in front. Oh my, he had King there. Niederer scooped up his stick and then immediately had an assist opportunity. Just couldn't put the finishing touches on it.
Niederer sees the ice extremely well.
Ward out in front to Lamoureux. Lamoureux tried to squeeze it out in front. Now Crilly with a shot, that's just wide. Ward taking his time, skating along the blue line. 5 seconds left to go on the power play. Flames looking for one opportunity. Ward fakes the shot. Holds on to it. Oh, he was looking for Niederer out in front. And Colangelo will scoop it up, and we'll be even strength.
You know, for Wake Forest, they're sticking in this right here. They haven't allowed a goal in quite a few minutes. Who is kind of standing out for you guys for Wake Forest?
I have to say Andrew Adams has looked pretty solid. McCray Robertson. Duncan Brown has looked good as well. Tyler Potts has had a couple of break opportunities. I think those are kind of the top couple lines for Wake Forest, and they've done a good job hanging in there. Roy with the shot, that's sticked away. Trapping it in the corner are the Flames, able to poke it out, eventually get it across ice, but the Demon Deacons steal it away. Opportunity for the men in black. Palouf loses it. Now it's back out to center ice, and Wake Forest will have to reset if they can, but it's poked away by Martin. Good pressure being applied here by the Flames. Wilson with a wrister. Had Perry out in front. Roy tried to poke it through as well. Wake Forest will dump and chase as well.
Golden was frustrated for Wake Forest on that play that he took a little slash on the stick and waved his hands at the ref, but I know it's funny, you get guys that, honestly, to me, it was just a hockey play. Like, what are you expecting? But he wasn't pleased.
Wilson fakes the shot, puts it out in front. Wake Forest team, not necessarily offensively explosive. They did have that 7-goal game against Duke, as high as he's able to keep it in the zone, but just loses it.
Wilson laid a big hit on Blake Mueller. Mueller goes off the ice.
They certainly have some guys that can put points on the board. Relatively quiet here tonight. We saw a little bit of frustration coming out of Scott McKean earlier, another guy who's been pretty solid tonight, but just unable to get through in that final third.
Here's the thing to remember, though. This isn't your Devin Dockstedter's, Ben Freeman's Flames, right? This is a team that's going to be more defensively minded, that's not going to put as many pucks in the back of the net. So should they be scoring more than 5 right now against Wake Forest? Yes. But am I surprised that they've had 2 relatively low-scoring games? No, not at all.
Yeah, I think we had the conversation last game, as well as a big hit there from Rob Ward. 2 Liberty players collide into each other, and we'll get a stoppage of play. And with that, let's throw things down to Whitney Robertson.
Thanks so much, guys. I talked a little bit earlier about 2 freshmen, Michael Niederers and Blake Flanders. Now, both of these guys are new to college hockey, but they did not come in intimidated. In fact, they said they came in with an open mind, ready to work hard and leave it all out on the ice. They said they bring some things to this team, such as speed, creativity, and good chemistry. And Michael told me that he expects a national title this year, and anything less would be failure. Now, how do they attain this title? Well, according to these guys, it takes 3 things. Number 1, conditioning, always coming out strong in the 3rd period. Number 2, good team chemistry. And number 3, relying on the guys that have been in this position before, because as most of us know, this team is not unfamiliar with what it looks like to be in the finals of a national championship. So it'll be interesting to see how the season plays out. Guys, back to you.
Excellent work there from Whitney Robertson. Thank you very much for that. She did her homework. Good stuff from her. And we'll get a little bit later, catch up with Whitney later in the game, as we'll get our player of the game in about 8 minutes, as well as our play of the game. Interesting to see who's playing with who here. Red is As we mentioned, Jamie Crane sent off the ice in the second. Kind of seeing who Ben Hughes wants to see in different lines. I think, again, kind of like we mentioned with the 5-minute major, it gave him an opportunity to see his penalty kill. Now you're kind of see what kind of lines he wants to throw out and give guys different looks.
Yeah, you know, he himself and along with him, Danny Logan, just trying to find a little chemistry. You know, it's never a bad thing, giving different looks in your lineup. Throughout a season, you play 25, 30 games at this level. Things are going to get stale at one point, so you're going to have to take a fresh look, get another set of eyes, see what's going on in your lineup. And, you know, this is early on still, and you probably like to see your lines gel a little bit more before you take another look at it. But this is the situation they're in, and they're trying to make the best of it.
Now, I've always been curious to see at certain levels, they would like to change lines more often than not. I think that's pretty prevalent at the D1 spot. There's guys always kind of changing lines and things like that. Eventually, second semester, you kind of get more set. But the first semester is a lot of different transitions. At what point do you stop making those changes and you start kind of just getting set with who you got?
I think that depends on the coach and your style and what you want to see. You see guys change lines a fair bit. Kirk Handy, a bit more willing to, you know, throw things in a blender and toss it up a little bit. Ben Hughes, we'll wait and see how that goes. I know for myself, my first couple of years of coaching, I changed lines all the time. And then as I've gotten a little bit older, I've tried to really keep consistency.
Rob Ward with an opportunity himself. Oh, he went a little bit too fancy there, did Rob Ward.
That was a dirty move, though. Nice look.
Yeah. Nice move from Ward. Probably just one too many dekes on that one. Ward with a back pass out in front. And we're going to get a stoppage of play. We'll see exactly the call is on this one.
Yeah, Rob Ward with his stick handling there. Very impressive.
Here's Wardo. He has to calm the puck down. Does a nice job. He gets the shoulders involved in everything. I think the one thing that got him was he had a nice bite. You know, that was a good save by the Tendy.
Yeah.
He might have utilized a little bit more speed and convinced the goaltender that he was going to go far post, but nonetheless, nice job there by Colangelo. He got his skate dug in and he pushed back across to get his leg there.
Sit-in, dumps it back down to Clark. Looking for the pass out in front was Flanders. There's a shot. Rebound. Oh, sit-in. Looked like he had it there, but puck just squirts to the left of the net. Clark lays the body. Crilly with a pass out in front looking for Flanders again. Crilly out in front looking for Clark. Can't connect. Backer with a shot. That's wide.
Off the head.
Oh, yeah, that went right
off the head of Blake
off
Mueller.
The bucket.
He might be seeing stars right now.
And here's where you're talking about staying above the mess right now. You've got to make sure that you don't lose any more players heading into your next couple of games to suspension, and stay out of the muck and the grind. And you've got a 5-0 lead. Just skate back to the bench right now and not get caught up in the extracurriculars.
Lamoureux will go against Cecchini. Ward with the shot. That's sticked away by Colangelo. Andrew Adams trying to skate through. He has the puck taken off his stick by Martin. Ward back to Roy. Roy with the shot, and it's gloved in by Colangelo.
You know, Coach Pascal said earlier that he has a great goalie, and I do think in Colangelo these past 2 periods he's been able to have some good stops, especially the one that Ward had that great stick movement, and then just right there we saw a great save by him.
Yeah, I'm sure at the level he plays in the ACCHL, he's probably one of the conference's best.
Ward makes one-man miss. Backhanded to Roy. Back down to Lamoureux. King unable to get a stick on it. Roy will have to go chasing.
This might be an opportunity for Wake Forest right here.
Roy swings around to the near side. Dumps it down to King. Inches away was Rob Ward, but just couldn't hold on to it. Opportunity here for the Flames. Ward circles, passes over to King. Off his skate. Oh, he had to bring it back over to his right, just couldn't hold on to it. Rob Ward now has options out in front. Instead, he sends it back to Lamoureux. Emeru cuts through the defense, goes over the Glick. Glick with the shot, that's just high. Drumheller will keep it in. And we'll get a stoppage of play.
They're gonna take Ward off again. Slashing is gonna be the call.
Rob Ward goes to the penalty box for the second time tonight. And Wake Forest will have about half of the time left to go on the power play. Looks like it'll be McKean squaring off against Matthew Perry on the face-off. Face-off taken and won by the Flames. Puck sent into the corner. Scooped up by Backers, trying to clear it unsuccessfully. Shot goes awry for Wake Forest. Sent hard into a boards the Wake Forest player, and he goes down in the heap. That puck sent all the way back down into the Wake Forest defensive zone, falling on it. And we'll get a stoppage of play. Update here for the D1 team. Grant Garvin scores to make it 3-0. Quinn Ryan scored before him to make it 2-0. Flames lead with about 5 minutes left to go in the second period. So a good showing for the Flames down at Rutgers. I guess that would be up at Rutgers, actually.
Yes. Up and east.
Save picked up by Colangelo, and we'll get a face-off once again. Guess you could say the likely suspects for the Flames scoring there in Quinn Ryan and Grant Garvin.
Carlson's turning into a likely suspect. I love his game.
Back of the net, Morton.
He stepped into that one. When we look at the replay, he just did an amazing job of putting all his weight down, flexing that stick, and that was a beautiful snapper, post and in. He's gonna remember that one. First collegiate goal with the Liberty Flames, and it was a nice one.
And we have two. That's two first collegiate goals tonight.
That is correct. Bennett's taking a look at this one. Wow. Nice shot there from him. Looked like it went bar to bar.
It may have, Colangelo may have just whipped on it, but he emptied out the Dijon on that one. Lots of mustard on her.
More of a great value guy.
So am I.
So the shorthanded goal for the Flames has them up 6-0. 4:10 left to go in this one. Wake Forest still in the 5-on-4 man advantage. Flames making it feel like they have the advantage.
Yeah, Roy hurt himself on that one. Oh, our mic here just got hammered.
Might
right
need to
by
check
the
that out.
stanchion, yeah. But Roy went for the old Rob Blake backward skating hip
There's a
check
name.
of sorts and took himself out there on the dasher.
Brown.
Perry was looking for a breakaway there. He caught himself.
Shot went wide. Wake Forest finding it in the corner. Eventually finds the stick of a Demon Deacon. It's DeMoncos. Sends it back down over to Solvaletti. Put it out in front. Mueller was fighting for it, and scooping it up is Jared Epp.
Give Epp a lot of credit on that play. Nice pass. Guy's right on the doorstep. He stays big. He stays upright. Makes a nice save. But what I really like is the rebound pops out, and he's just calm. Epp does a great job of just a calm demeanor. It helps out the defense. You never feel like, even when the other team's buzzing around and it feels like they're coming close, Epp's just cool and collected. Just does a great job of keeping that emotion, that feeling throughout his team, and you never get too tense with him between the pipes, and he covers up there on a grade A scoring chance.
When you have a goalie between the pipes like that who's calm, how does that affect the rest of the team?
It keeps everybody
Is everybody else
feeling
calm?
nothing. Yeah, basically, it's everybody's like, okay, we're not in trouble, everything's good. Look at him, he's fine, you know, and we're all good too. And he's just going to be back there all day making these calm saves. Yeah, that's one thing. You know, watching hockey growing up, I was a big Curtis Joseph fan, and I love watching him play, and he was a highlight reel goaltender. So he would make these saves just out of nowhere, and he'd be caught out of position. He'd fly back in the crease and make the save, but it would leave you tense because you're like, man, this team's coming close. But then started to watch Ed Belfour a little bit, and he was just so calm, so positionally sound, and you never felt like there's no problems. Everything was good. Just have a cup of coffee and watch things go on. And I really started to love his style of play, just because it gave everybody confidence, and you never had anxiety.
For me, it was a guy like Marty Brodeur. As a Flyers fan, you always just rued the day when you had to face the Devils. Even in, when you were in your own home barn, you never wanted to see Marty Brodeur between the pipes. Talk about a guy that just brought consistency to the table year in, year out.
And even Marty, though, and I'll say this, he still would leave you nervous because he would make like the windmill glove save, and he wasn't like that position. He was positionally sound, but he wasn't that guy that's just gonna go in the butterfly and every puck hit him in his chest. He was kicking out his legs and getting stuff with the hands. But yeah, it's interesting. You have all these great goaltenders, Hall of Famers that all played different styles. There's, it's such a what works best for you. Dominic Hasek obviously left many people in heart attacks in their day. And
Lamoureux with it, fighting for it in the corner along with Flanders. Even strength now for both teams. Minute 50 left to go in this one. Getting it out of the corner is Lamoureux, passing it out in front, backhand
there
shot.
It is. Did he save that?
He did indeed.
Oh my goodness, poor Niederer. He's gotten robbed 3 times tonight, and Colangelo right there, that was highway robbery. Like, what a magnificent save by him.
Colangelo continues to impress. And we're going to get a power play for the remainder of this one for the Flames, barring a score.
Yeah, Frolik going off. And I'd love to see that save. I hope we have it on replay, because that was just an absolute beauty. Niederer did a great job. He cut across the crease, went to his backhand, and just tucked it home.
Ward with the shot that's off the body of a Wake Forest player, and it's sent back out in front for Crilly. Crilly gets taken down.
And Gretzky's going everywhere.
Lamoureux, back to Ward, back to Crilly, back to Lamoureux.
I don't even know what position he's playing right now. Center, defense,
He's
wrestler, I don't know.
Yeah. Crilly, back to Ward. Ward up to Lamoureux. Now back to Rob Ward. Taking it over on the far side is Ward. Options to his left. Passes it out in front. Oh, he's looking for Lamoureux on the doorstep. Holding on to his Niederer. That puck skips out to center ice. 45 seconds left to go in this one. Flames will move to 2-0 on the year.
See, what was I talking about earlier? I'd love to see Crilly shoot more.
Yeah.
And there it was right there. The defense was not expecting that at all. They thought he was going to just skate it wide, try to cut through the middle, and cut back in on goal, but he even fooled the goaltender. And see what I'm saying? If he shoots more, he changes it up a little bit, it's going to create more options for him.
Puck took a weird bounce as well. Kind of skipped up into the pads of Colangelo on that one.
I think it might have gone off the defender's stick right in front, so obviously a hard puck for Colangelo to read.
Yeah, it looked like Colangelo took it off the chest there.
Ward with the shot, and he finds the back of the net. Rob Ward, you cannot lead this man with an inch of space. He takes a mile. The Flames lead 7-0.
A nice play by him, and really, he didn't put much on this puck at all. I think he was just throwing it on net, hoping for a redirect. But what happened was, nice job in front. They were taking away the goaltender's eyes. He never saw it coming until late, and just slips 5-hole.
So after this, the Flames will head to Louisville. Let's take another look here first at the replay before we get into the schedule. Rob Ward.
Yeah, Andy Clark in front.
Andy Clark, like you mentioned.
Nice job in front. Just goalie didn't see a thing.
Andy Clark not on the score, one goal on the score sheet today, but really I'd say his best work has been out in front of net, just creating havoc.
Yeah, and he's a guy that you need to win. And if you're not going to win a national championship without a guy like that in front of the net and doing the dirty work. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Flames will head to Louisville after this, and then we'll get Penn State at home Friday, October 20th and the 21st. So you can look forward to 2 matchups there as well. And the Flames take this one 7-0, a roar of the crowd as Jared Epp gets his first shutout of the season in his first game. Impressive performance from him as well.
Yeah, nice work by Jarrett. He did a fantastic job of just staying focused through this game, and yeah, this is not an easy game for him. He had to make some pretty quality saves when there were turnovers in the Flame zone, but like I said, he stayed on task, focused, and made things look easy.
As for Wake Forest, they move to 1-3-1 on the year. They will head to Georgetown. Georgetown and St. Joseph's will come to them next weekend. But now let's all focus back on the Flames, and it's our star of the game, Marshall King.
Yeah, the Hardy star of the game here. I could go for some Hardys right now, but Marshall King does a nice job here getting the goal that made things 1-0. And that was actually the shot by Kyle Martin, but yeah, there's Marshall. That's Martin's shot. You know what? Let's just make Kyle Martin the star.
Yeah, he deserves it.
The freshman guy coming in here, didn't have a spot guaranteed to him on the Division I team, and just said, you know what? I'm going to try out anyways and try to crack the club. And here he is playing top pairing minutes for Liberty. Just did a fantastic job there. Nice to see him get his first goal. And like I said, he got that puck and he knew what he was doing. He's like, I'm walking into this thing with a full head of steam and I'm going to snipe.
Martin and Flanders both get their first goals of the season.
Let's take a look here at our play of the game, brought to us by Carter Bank and Trust.
Puck was sent out in front. Flanders able to backhand it, and then the rebound by Flanders to get his nice goal out in front.
And I just like what Flanders is doing here. He's going to the dirty areas. This guy, I'm sure he's a sniper back in his previous day, but he's just going out in front, working hard, and he's going to be standing by here in just a couple moments to talk to us. But just a fantastic job by him, not trying to score from just the outside, but going into the hash marks.
Good work from the young guys tonight, 6, 7, and 8, all with contributions. Neither, unfortunately, coming up a little bit short in the goal department, but looked very solid as well. But we're going to have number 7, Blake Flanders, standing by with Whitney Robertson.
Thanks, guys. Now, Blake, you started out as a young guy from Buffalo, New York, going to open skates with your dad. Now you're playing for a D2 team that's undefeated. How are you feeling right now?
It feels great. You know, it's a great group of guys, and it's really fun to play some hockey with them. Also great getting the first goal and contributing to this win.
And y'all are leaving 2-0. How do you move forward from here?
We just got to keep working hard, getting pucks deep, cycling, just sticking to our game.
Now y'all are going on the road to Louisville, and y'all have only played home games so far. So what are some adjustments that you'll think you'll have to make?
You know, just focusing before the game and in the locker room. You know, we're not going to have our home ice. We're not going to have that comfortability. So we're really just going to have to dial in.
Thanks so much, Blake. Congrats. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Whitney. Congrats to the young man, Blake Flanders, on his first point of the season. Bennett, your first broadcast today. How'd you feel, buddy?
It was a great time being with you guys today, seeing a great game.
Yeah.
Put some work in.
Nice work by you. You know, I call him Benet over here. Benet usually behind the scenes directing things for us, but jumped out in the booth with us today. Fun stuff.
The Flames all over this one, leave their mark. 7-0 is the final score for Whitney Robertson, Bennett Brown, Brett McGibbon. I'm Adam Fornwell. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next weekend. Until next time, have a good night.